Doing a roof with a hip in it is difficult. Carpentry level difficult. I don't know how to scale that, but my hat's off to the people who deal with this day in and day out and know it like the back of their hand, because it's not entirely intuitive. I spent quite a bit of time head scratching, only a little bit of time swearing, and I don't think I threw anything.
Everybody, welcome back to our build and the progress on our build. I'm happy to show you that again we have our tarp up. You'll notice that it's brown this time rather than gray because it is a magnificent reversible tarp. But underneath that tarp, a lot of work has gotten done. We had 3 beautiful days of work, 3 beautiful sunny days to get a lot of work done, and then, as happens in January, the snow came back. We're taking this moment when the weather is a little questionable and there's water on the top of the tarp to tell you everything we've done in the last few days, from rafters to plywood.
So after we raised the frame and got it all secured to the foundation, it was time to go back into the wood stack that we had made many months ago and get out the pieces that I milled for the rafters. The main rafters over the sort of the front portion of the roof, they were really pretty easy. They just had a bird's mouth for the ledger and a bird's mouth for the beam. This was easy to extract from the drawing and really relatively easy to cut. Those went great. It did not really stretch my my skills at all. Then we got to the hip rafter, and that's a little bit weird. The hip rafter itself made a lot of sense to me. I had figured out the shape of this thing in AutoCAD, and I had a pretty clear idea of where that thing needed to go. It wasn't too much work to get it there. I set it up and I blocked it and I scribed all of the notches that needed to be done in that, and it dropped right into place, and it was coplanar with the front roof pitch. But the way that I've done this, with a shallow pitch in the front and a steep pitch on the side, it made my brain hurt a little bit to turn the corner and start working on those short rafters that also have to line up with that long hip rafter. But they got done. I mean, it was 2 short little tiny pieces of wood. Compared to the rest of it, they weren't really a big deal. I'm really not worried about this being underbuilt in any way, but it was a little bit challenging to get it to look right.
I really enjoyed watching Nick working on the rafters, especially the short ones on the side. He doesn't want to show you that process because essentially he made it up as he went along. He figured it out as he went, with quite a bit of preparation done, but also responding to the different pieces of wood and what was actually happening with all those crazy angles. But I loved watching that because to me that is why we're here. Being able to see Nick working in a creative way, not following any particular set of rules, just doing what he loves to do and being free in that. It's so much why we're here, why we've made the choices we've made to live off-grid, so that I get to see him in his freedom, really using his hands to do what he can do to build the life he wants. And moments like that are really precious to me when I remember why it's worth it to live the way we do.
And then I brought in the the plywood crew. I had a lot of help when it came to decking the roof, which was awesome. I could have done it alone, but it would have taken longer and not have been as enjoyable. So I had great company and great help, and everybody got involved a little bit, and we learned that Milo can carry a half of a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. So that's not nothing. It's great. I like having the kids get involved and having them follow me and see what was happening. And Stella, once again, was the go-getter when I needed something gotten. So she was able to anticipate and figure out what I was doing next, and we made a little game of it so that she would look closely. Milo and Esther were the material handling team. They would get the next sheet of plywood out of the truck, get it all staged on the sawhorses. Some of the plywood came out of the reclaim pile, and they would go and dig it out of that. And everybody was paying attention and stayed a step ahead of me. It was great.
It's the most amazing mudroom I've ever seen in my life. And probably one of the only.
You like it, Sadie?
Yeah. Feels good.
It feels good. Okay.
That's what everyone wants in a plywood roof.
Yeah.
You want it to
Jump out the
feel
window.
good.
What?
No.
Hey, Sadie, can you do a job for me?
Yes.
Can you pull that red hose all the way into your room? Pull, pull, pull. All right, shut the window.
What do you think?
Hell of a crew. It feels good to be at home and doing stuff for the home. This is not that you can see it right now, but it's a pretty big change to the front of the house. So we've brought a lot of its character out. You know, we've added a lot of, I don't know, just its final shape.
We keep calling this structure a mudroom, and some people have asked what we mean by that. I've also heard someone call it an Arctic entry, which I think is a great way to describe it. It's an airlock between us and the outside for the door that we use the most often. And it also will be some storage space, a place to drop your muddy boots, and a little bit of sunny space once we put the windows in, you'll see, to keep some plants.
Dad said that we're going to be able to stand on it, and it would be like, and if there was a fire, it would be our fire escape. We can watch the stars just by opening our window and walking on top of it.
That's pretty cool.
It goes there.
Maybe eventually.
Eventually.
Don't reach out, Milo.
We had a chance to sit on the frame of the roof before the roofing was put on. Nick and I just took a little break between the rafters being finished and putting the plywood on, and the kids got to come up as well. It reminded me of, and the kids too, it reminded us all of the time that we sat on the house frame before it was dried in. We had a little Oreo cookie party on the house frame before it was dried in on the upper level, and the kids have a very strong memory of that. And I definitely remembered that as we were sitting on our porch roof enjoying the view.
Oreo. Harvard.
Go right to the blanket, Sadie.
Oreo.
Sit down.
Yes.
You gotta sit down.
That's delicious. Yeah.
Picnic has begun.
I'm Nick. Thanks for watching.
Your dad made a nice thing, didn't he?
I might try to persuade my parents into putting a trampoline down there so we can jump off and bounce.
Yeah, no.
Well, game over. By the way,